Yeah, John. I'll make the video and I'll send it to you later. See you soon. Yeah, Brian. Yeah, that's cool. I'll get it to you later. By the way, I made the video already. If you check it online, you'll find all of the information on how to do this. Have you ever had the issue with clients not setting boundaries or following the boundaries that you set? It's a common issue in business, and today I'm going to go over 3 simple strategies that you can employ to ensure that whenever you set a boundary, people follow them. And if you're not sure how to set a boundary, by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly how to set boundaries with clients in a way that doesn't push them away and actually makes them respect you and want to work with you even more. So if you're running a consulting business, a coaching business, even a teaching business, and you're not sure how to keep people in their lane,
Dad, aren't you supposed to not drink and drive?
Without asking you to do tons of work, and yes, dealing with the dreaded scope creep that comes along with it, you're in the right place. The biggest issue with people not following the boundaries that you set is that it takes your time and it also costs you money. It costs you money because a lot of the times the issues that you can solve by setting these boundaries, you solve them through selling other services. The first way that I always ensure that clients follow the boundaries I set up is I create a clear scope and proposal of services from day one. Whenever you sit down to offer a service to a client, you absolutely must ensure that you put in writing and get a signature what your role is. If you do not do this, trust me, people will ask you for multiple revisions. People will ask you to do things that aren't included in your original proposal for services, and it's gonna take a toll on you and it's gonna make you not want to work with them ever again.
Well, can you unpackage them so we only get the channels we want?
I'm sorry, our company doesn't work that way.
And you're gonna secretly be pulling your hair out wishing in the beginning you had just sent a clear, straightforward proposal of what you can do within the price that you agreed on. Now, you might think,
if I do this, clients aren't going to want to work with me, this, that, and the other.
However, in business, everything is based on contracts. So before you ever get started, make sure you get in writing what you're going to do. Don't just create a generic proposal that says, I'm going to make you a website. Instead, go through and itemize it. I'm going to build you a database for all of your students that's going to house all of their information, accept payments, and it's going to allow you to send them feedback reports. And on top of this, it's also going to allow you to have a calendar that people can book from. And just trust me, you want to itemize everything step by step by step, because if you don't, it's going to come back to bite you later. And it's definitely not something you're going to want to deal with. This hurts your business first because it decreases the chances of somebody wanting to work with you again. And then the second thing it does is sets you up to have them asking loads of questions because they're not clear on what exactly your role is. So make sure you itemize this and be as detailed as possible. Here is a copy of a proposal that I used, and I sent this to the parents for $1,800, and they actually contacted me again saying, hey, we want more classes for this and this. I wrote up another very detailed proposal, sent it to them. This contract turned into a $2,300 contract, and that is for less than 2 months of work. So make sure that you are being very clear with your expectations up front, because that is the biggest mistake I see most small business owners who come and ask me for help making. The second thing I do, because sometimes you create these proposals, you send them to the clients, they look them over, they read them, they sign the proposal, and they pay you. But then what happens? Well, they've signed it saying they've read it, but they haven't really done so. This happens a lot if you're not targeting a client that is very serious about their work, or it can actually be a red flag because it means that they want you to do a lot more than your scope and role within their company. A good example of this is a marketing company about 4 years ago contacted me on Upwork. I don't do any more work on Upwork simply for this reason alone, but they were very general, very vague, very broad in what they needed. They needed me to write, some copy for a website that sells, electricity panels in the United Kingdom. Completely new to me, but I went to work and I started writing this. However, once I completed all of the writing, they also sent me an SEO checklist and said,
now we need you to include all of these semantic keywords, and we need to make sure that this page is optimized for all of these.
Normally, I wouldn't have an issue doing this. However, what we agreed on was creating the content, and we did not agree on SEO optimizing the content. However, in this instance, I went through and I looked at the messages and found very quickly that the proposal that they sent to me, which I accepted and I thought I had read because I chatted with them, actually included SEO. So the second thing you want to do is make sure that you are reading any proposals that are sent to you for work, because if you don't, people can put in little clauses and extra pieces of work that you have to technically complete even though you're not getting paid for it.
I tell you, this is worse than when they took away my library card for reading while intoxicated. Oh, don't be ashamed of your hand, Johnny Tremaine. You still live in exciting times.
And as a business owner, I'm going to get to this later, you need to master the art of getting more money out of people. And that might sound a little rude and it might sound a little pushy and upfront, but if you do it the right way, it actually comes off as solving more problems for the client. And because you are putting more time and effort into helping them, wouldn't it make sense that you deserve a little bit more? A good example of this is in one of my recent English lesson proposals. I told the parents I will help their student with writing, but they also wanted additional personalized feedback for that writing. And when I sit down to grade her paper, I told them I would give them a video outlining all of the changes so she can practice her listening, and I also told them that I would give her a tracked changes document in Microsoft Word so she can see all the structural changes I made and understand exactly why I made them. Additionally, I told them that I would give her access to Video Ask, and if you're not familiar with Video Ask, it's amazing. Basically, you can create a video, feedback, whatever it may be, and the person can respond to you. And once I went through and added all this, I figured this is going to take me at least an additional hour and a half outside of our courses. So I proposed to the parents an upsell.
Hey, it's me. Knock knock. So you got my money?
And this is, number 3 that you need to be thinking about. Whenever clients contact you and they want something outside of the scope that's in your original proposal, don't immediately tell them you cannot help them. Instead, think about how you can upsell them, get more money, and also make them happier. If you do a great job solving their issue, they're going to recommend you like wildfire. Your business is going to spread and people are going to be contacting you like crazy. And it might take some time for this to happen initially, especially if you're a new business owner, because you're going to have to understand step by step how to get people interested in the products and services and upsells, and you're going to have to figure out how to strategically offer them so that way people see them as a benefit. And if you do this correctly, people will stop contacting you, asking you to do work for free. It is the best thing that could happen for your business. So take the step today and make sure that when people are asking you for stuff outside of your original scope, that you are upselling to solve that problem. By the way, if you're finding these tips useful, why not hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, that way I can see you every single week. Now, what do you do if a client continually pushes you outside of your scope and your sequence? Well, I really push this down to not paying attention to what they're hiring, the service they want, or having an understanding for it. So what happens? What do I do when people continually ask me to do things?
Please, Daddy, please. It's $20 million, Daddy. Please, Daddy, please. 20 million is still 12 million after taxes, Daddy. I want a llama, Daddy. Please, Daddy. Daddy, take a movie, Daddy. Daddy.
That we did not agree on. Well, initially, what I do is I try to educate them and inform them. I politely remind them they should look at their proposal for services that they signed and accepted, and they should understand everything that is involved with it, and if they have any questions, they can reach out to me. Unfortunately for some clients, because I'm a website developer with Python, Django, I can also do some front-end development. However, I much prefer the back end. I think it's way easier. But whenever clients, specifically website clients, contact me, like I recently built a website for someone, and now they are asking me a multitude of questions. How do I do a redirect? How do I do this? How do I do that? How do you set up a course online? And all of this information is very nice. However, if you've been to my website, you can see that I have some courses on there specifically aimed at helping people like this. And this person did not read our proposal very well. Instead, he just signed it and then we got on with what we were doing. And you might be thinking,
Oh, you should step away from this client, take a step back and say no.
but the thing is, I've worked with this client for quite some time. It doesn't really bother me. He's trying to learn, which I'm cool with, and he continually asks me to help him again and again with various marketing tasks. So for me, not a huge deal for this one specific client. However, after working with him, I started to modify what I did, because at the end of our website development project, I now require that all clients jump on a Zoom call with me.
Eric, are you there?
Yes, teacher, I'm here. I can't wait to start
For offboarding, and I teach them how to use their website with ease. That way, no matter what they want to do, they can pretty much get it done. Now, this is at a basic level because website development takes time, but you should be building in offboarding for all of your clients. That way, later, if they do have the questions, you can use skill number 4 that I use to maintain, I don't want to say distance with my clients, but to kind of like keep them in check and remind them of what it is we actually agreed on, so scope creep doesn't come in and there you go. You find yourself doing a ton of work that is unpaid. So what is this number 4, this elusive, secret that I'm talking about? Well, it's actually not a secret at all. Whenever a client asks me to do work outside of our scope and they haven't followed our processes that they agreed on, I politely tell them, this is not within our scope of work, so I'm going to
charge you for it.
And if you're a writer, this works great because you can charge for revisions, specifically if your proposal mentions it and they sign it. So for me, whenever I do writing, I offer 2 rounds of revisions, because if somebody gives me a good brief, I'm going to be able to create the content that they want. If you are a business owner or a freelancer and you're not really sure what a good brief looks like, go ahead and check out this video here. I outline what a brief should not include and what a brief should include, having hired over 150 writers myself. So check that video out if it's something you're interested in. Now, if I am working on a website, how does this look? Well, one of the clients did not do the offboarding. Now they're asking me tons of questions, and you kind of have to be a bit frank with them, but do it in a very roundabout but nice way. So for this client who is asking me a ton of questions about redirects, how to set up courses online, all of this, I just said, hey, this is not in our proposal. Look it over. Let me know your thoughts. He got back to me and he said, you know what? That's fine. Totally right. And what I did was started to just charge him for everything that he asked me. So for example, he asked me to fix a pop-up on his website. The pop-up was totally cool. I have no idea what he did with it, but he expected me to fix it for free. But at the end of the day, it takes my time away from something I could be working on. At the moment, I'm in the middle of transferring my website from a standard WordPress CMS to a headless CMS, which is absolutely great for SEO, but that's time that I could be spending working on my website rather than his. So that's skill number 4. Charge for your time and make sure if it is outside of your original scope of work, you are very upfront, but in a very polite way. That way these clients want to work with you again and again. And there you have it. That is 4 simple ways that I make sure that my clients follow our requirements, follow our proposals, and how I avoid the dreaded scope creep. That's all for today. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Do you have something I'm missing? Is there anything that I should add? And what do you think about the tips I gave you? I would love to hear from you, and I will see you guys next week. Bye-bye.